Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the 9th episode of Mother's Jail. Tonight's episode is titled The Blood Price. Before we get started, I just want to give a big shout out to Borislav Slavov, Critical Role Hunter Rogerson, and the Supernova Collective, who will be providing some of the music that we'll be hearing this evening. I also want to, as always, give a special shout out to our own Braley, who did the artwork for our characters, which you can see on screen right now. Everyone's looking very lovely. And to our own Nova, who created all the Twitch layout. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. So thank you, everyone. Last time, when we all got together, it was an interesting time. You have all been sent as part of the invasion of the Mother's Jail mainland. You have all been sent to the city of Mitra Scaleth, the elven city on the Dragonborn continent. And here you are tasked with forming an alliance with with Azure's Remembrance, a faction of, I would say, a loosely associated faction of pirates that were at one time a full navy, but have long since kind of been scattered into just being a kind of loose association. You have arrived in an attempt to make an alliance with them, hopefully one where they will not sink your ships as you are trying to cross the long jump from the Crown to the Mother's Jail mainland. Or ideally, if you could get them to form a more formal military alliance and actually join in your invasion, that would be better. While you're here, you have found out the easiest way to do that. First of all, you'll have to convince Admiral Shiso Denerin, who is the leader of Azure's Remembrance. The easiest way to do so is by approaching his 5 captains, his council of 5, whom he takes a lot of advice from. Last session, you met up with a couple of them, the first being Shagrash Blackeye, who captains the Diamond Sky, and Captain Luca of the Scarlet, who captains the Scarlet Demon. Both of which you were able to convince to join your endeavor. Shagrash basically agreed because a certain Lord Kelsifer Arkwright spoke positively of you, which worked out great because Braley, you know, he could be your Boothang or not. We'll see. The other Captain Luca, he seemed pretty content to go with you guys as long as you promised you'd kill demons wherever you went. He's got something of a thing about demons, and he doesn't like them. So he was basically willing to agree as long as you agreed to kill demons, and you did.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm going to leave him alive and take him to tea, so... Yeah.
So, you know, that's all he needed to hear. That was enough for him.
I mean...
that leaves you with 3 that you need to talk to still, one of them being Captain Canis Mistal, Captain Dominic of the Azure, and Captain Lillian Akanai, all of whom you are still going to try to get the approval of. That's not the only thing that's happening, though, in this town. Our own Ramiel has been made of some interesting... made aware of something rather interesting. He may, in fact, be a long-lost prince. He was recognized by Lady Lenneth Eastbrook as bearing a birthmark that is only given to those born in the city of Mitra Primus on the elven continent of Mitra Glorianda, which is interesting because the elven continent hasn't been seen in 400 years. So everyone's a little confused about that. Or 500 years now at this point. And also the scales that he bears suggests that he is the child of Azure and one of the former prioresses, leaders of the Elven continent. So could be a big deal. You've been asked to go to Mitra Glorianda and meet with the current prioress Vicenzia, and see if what she has to say about all that. In addition, Nova, Nova's patron, got busy with another member of the party, and it was hot and heavy. Everyone was pleased, except for anyone who wasn't in the room. Everyone else seemed pretty displeased.
But was assumed to be in the room.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Also, Nova got a message from a mysterious individual that suggested, though the rest of the players couldn't hear this, suggested that she might be a double agent and maybe giving secrets out to another faction. So, we left off with you wrapping up with Captain Luca of the Scarlet. It's about an hour later when we pick things back up, as you all are now departing from having spoken with Captain Dominic of the Azure. You were able to find your way to Azure's Fang, and were able to secure a meeting with the young captain. He was different, I would say. He was much more pragmatic, much more about the numbers, much more about the plan, the details. And you were only able to give him so much because you haven't been filled in on all of the details of how exactly this operation is going to work.
Have we actually talked to him?
We're skipping that. I'm saying an hour has passed. You are now leaving.
Okay.
Talking to him.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
We're skipping the boring logistic parts.
I figure it'll be an hour of him asking you questions and you having to constantly say, I don't know.
Got it.
So,
okay. Just make sure.
because he wants to know all the details of the operation that you do not have yet.
Mhm.
So no dialogue box pops up, but we start doing these like talking gesture animations, and the
Correct.
camera pans up and it fades to black, and then it fades back in as the camera comes down.
Yeah, exactly.
He asks us a bunch of questions. We just hand him the sending stone for.
You can ask our boss. Ultimately, you don't get a yes or a no out of him. He kind of makes it clear that he wouldn't make a decision without hearing what the other counselors have to say, and without hearing like both sides of it. So he kind of just gave you we'll see. He didn't seem particularly impressed with the whole arrangement, mainly because he wanted details that you all didn't have, and potentially, if you're able to get them for him, he would be more willing to help. But we will pick up with you all departing Azure's Fang, which is basically, it has been repurposed into a factory. It is 2 ships that have been basically bound together, and there are forges on both of them, and this is where a lot of the production of the city seems to be happening. But it is as you're stepping down onto the docks that we will pick back up, because as you're starting to make your way back down and just talking with each other about
Well,
what
that was
happened.
an invigorating conversation. I hope no one missed it. I hope no one missed it. I forgot my accent. Please apologies.
You were that bored by the conversation, you forgot your accent.
Shh, that was out of
Oh,
character. We
the
don't need to speak
accent's
of.
slipping.
Really, definitely was sleeping during a lot of that conversation.
Yeah, Brayley, I think it was the most boring thing you've ever heard in your life. He's like going over like latitudes and longitudes and
What are
timings and yeah, exactly. You definitely asked what are those, and he went, right, so not you then.
No,
Got it.
Nova tried to like
Here's
answer
these
by not
crayons.
answering, and it did not
Turn your
work.
place that over.
As you're kind of standing at the end of the dock and trying to like flag someone down to ask where is the Lone Truth, which is Captain Mistal's ship,
Mhm.
Nova,
Yes.
you feel a tapping at your foot.
Look down immediately.
As you do, you see a humongous bundle of feathers. As maybe the chonkiest pigeon you've ever seen is pecking at your feet.
That is a very chunky pigeon. And it is my chunky pigeon. Little known fact, Sarah wants a pet pigeon. Anyway.
As you look down at it and seem to give it your attention, it starts flapping its wings very hard. Like, I don't know, have you ever seen a bird, like, when it's growing its flight feathers back in, how it has to, like, flap twice as hard to, like, get any airborne at all? That's what this thing just has to do all the time. As it like at first nothing happens, but then it slowly starts to hover up off the ground, and at a snail's pace, it moves up and then just starts shifting a little bit to the side to land on your shoulder. And it weighs down your shoulder more than you're happy about.
By strength of 8.
Yeah.
Hello? Pigeon? I don't know if you require any more sustenance than what you have already. Alright, well, I can't say no to that.
Whatever you give him, he happily takes. And just
Does that mean you are... Oh. Did you swallow it in one piece, did you?
There is, notably, attached to its leg, a small string with a piece of paper.
Very good, very good. You make a...
As you go to get it, he does lift his leg up like as if he's used to that.
This is not the kind of carrier pigeons I am used to seeing, I will say. I'm just saying you could get out a little more. She's gonna pull the paper out.
You unfold it, and as expected, there's not very much writing on it. It's a very small piece of paper. The paper reads, "Follow the Silver Wolf," and it is signed Cadence.
Do I remember the name Cadence?
You do.
Okay.
You rescued her.
I thought so. Nova looks at this curiously before showing the paper to you all. I am not sure what sort of codes this is, but this is our new direction.
So Cadence
No,
is
please.
Cadence is the younger daughter of General Tashira. She is still quite young. It's weird that she would be sending you any kind of missive. What are we laughing about?
There's just a funny little pigeon I was tagged in.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty dorky looking pigeon. They make apparently really good pets for birds. It's all. Anyway.
I'm also really sorry. Your fucking fat pigeon noise are sending me.
Oh my god.
I have a feeling you are not leaving me anytime soon.
It would make a good lunch.
I don't know why, but
No,
for
you're-
some reason I'm given the distinct image of a fat pufferfish every time this thing opens its mouth.
Or a fat raven from somewhere else. That
It kind of like burrows down and loafs on your shoulder for a moment.
Oh boy. Why me exactly?
Yeah.
Now I have to give it a name.
Oh, at the word name, it spreads out its wing a little bit, and there is a clipped-on tag on it.
All right.
Bird has a name.
I look at the
Is it Ellie?
His name is Herb.
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 It comes pre-seasoned.
Amazing.
How do you make these things so fast? All right. Okay. Anyway. All right, Herb. You have a tag. Do you have an owner that we can find you for? Is Cadence your owner?
He looks over at you and just lifts his leg up again, as basically miming, like, if you want to send a message back, now's your chance.
Oh, okay. What
I'm
would you
sorry.
like to say to Cadence? We were asked to follow the Silver Wolf in case any of y'all forgot.
I'm sorry.
Apologies.
I'm sorry. Did you say this came from Cadence?
Yes. Her pet's
God
pigeon, Herb, Cadence.
It's
I run-
Herb.
I can't say that!
He doesn't like
It's
having his
alright,
name
dear.
mispronounced.
We all have
Herb!
linguistic
There we
difficulties
go.
to overcome.
Follows-
Herb the pigeon. The silver
so-
wolf.
Does anyone else wonder, like,
How the
how long
pigeon
ago
flew
were we-
here? I do too.
well, I was going to say, how long ago were we supposed to get this message?
It's a great question.
That is an excellent point.
Like,
Anyone know
were,
what's...
were we maybe supposed to, follow a silver wolf back into the forest?
Oh, so that's
That
what
would make sense.
Well, given the state of the forest, I don't think would have survived the journey.
Is Briley familiar with the silver wolf of any kind in this area?
Make a nature check for me.
Nature.
None of the boats are named like Silver Wolf, right?
No, I have.
You can make a
them here.
perception check to see if you've seen one.
Oh, does it
None
have
of the boats that you've been told to go to are named that.
Oh yeah,
does
yeah.
it have to be
None of
named?
the Council of Five. No.
Yeah, no, it's not in the Council of 5 ships.
You did say nature, right?
Yeah, nature. So there are wolves in the area, and they could be silver. Like, I mean, do you consider gray silver? I guess would be like the question. Like, so yeah, it could mean that. You
Which
don't know of
spelling of
anything that is
gray?
like that is referenced as the silver wolf. Then again, a 9-year-old wrote this, so
It could quite literally mean follow a silver wolf or like a white dog or something.
it could be her thinking she's playing secret agent and she's really excited.
It's true.
Oh, a child. What would a child think a silver wolf means? You don't think she means a pigeon, do you?
What color is herb?
I mean,
Just the typical
colored.
pigeon colors. Okay.
yeah,
Trailer
very,
old pigeon.
a very typical pigeon, except for his enormous girth.
Oh, God.
I mean, lots of grays with iridescent sheen.
Hmm.
You feel like if she had meant the pigeon, the note would have said "follow the pigeon."
That's
Follow
fair.
the pigeon.
Also,
yeah.
the pigeon would probably be leading you somewhere.
That's fair. Yeah, you ain't leading us anywhere.
Yeah.
So, what is a silver wolf? I mean, I think of like that's a design of some kind. That is a design of some kind. I should be talking in character. Perhaps there is a ship. My perception sucks, but I can try to look for a ship with the silver wolf.
Like a symbol of a silver wolf.
Yes, exactly. 11.
So you realize quickly, like, there's a lot of ships in this
Mm-hmm.
harbor, and most of them aren't like seaworthy anymore. Like, they can float on the water, but you couldn't actually take them out into the ocean. So you realize very quickly that, like, going around the entire harbor and checking out every ship to see if one is named the Silver Wolf probably doesn't make any sense. So instead, you just ask some of the people around, be like, hey, is there a ship here named the Silver Wolf? And none of them seem to recall that name.
You'd think someone would choose that name. It is a very proud name.
That's true. Doesn't necessarily scream like a ship's name, though.
That is true. That is a good point.
I have a weird question.
Hmm.
Being from Terracin, is there like maybe a folk tale or like some kind of story that a 9-year-old would be like super into that I might have heard?
Make a history check.
Ramiel, what does Cadence mean by this? You were
Yeah.
practically siblings, no?
22.
The only silver wolf that springs to mind is it is said that you start going through your mind, right? Trying to figure out what could this where do I see wolf iconography? And two things spring to mind. The first is the Dia As Enil, their god, the Machine Prince, is often associated with the iconography of a wolf. The other is the goddess of all that bears fang and claw, the goddess of nature, Fauna, who usually is said to have appeared as a silver wolf. There also, I guess, is for, on a nat 20, I'd give this to you. A few hundred years ago, during an era when there really shouldn't have been any dread demons, it is said that a dread demon that partook in cannibalism popped up, and one of the heroes that helped slay it went by the Silver Wolf.
Cannibalism.
Huh.
Wait, would this this wouldn't happen to have been during the Hero's Lament era, would it?
No, this would have been a few hundred years after the Queen's Lament.
Hero's Lament, Jesus Christ, sorry.
This happened right around the time the Dia Asanil began appearing.
Okay.
Was what, 430 something?
Around 430, yep.
I could open the notes for it, but that's a whole different Google Doc.
Yeah.
Those are the only references you can think of to the Silver Wolf.
Ayla will kind of just think for a minute. Okay, I don't think it has anything to do with the Asanil that killed a dread demon at one point.
No, those heroes are all well known to be dead.
Well,
But-
knowing that we can narrow it down between either the Machine Prince or worshippers of the goddess Fauna, are there any particular prominent places of worship here in Mitrascala for either?
For either Fauna or
Or the Machine
Prince. Certainly not the Machine Prince. That is pretty isolated to Terrasen. Flora and Fauna have shrines the world over. They are not unique to Terrasen, so it would certainly be possible that you might find a shrine to Fauna or Flora and Fauna in Matrix.
We could send a note back to Cadence.
WTF.
Pretty much is what I am thinking.
I mean,
Maybe try not to introduce her to profanity. Yes.
Apologies, WTH.
A fair enough
With
request,
the
I
L.
would imagine.
With the L.
Perhaps a more clear asking for just a direct
Clarification.
explanation might
Define,
be in order.
define
Well,
this.
does-
okay,
does Briley
I'm
know
just
where the
going to
shrines
point out-
are?
if we're
Um,
supposed to be
Sorry.
following the Silver Wolf, I don't know how fast Herb moves, but I don't think he's going to make it there and back before we're out of luck.
Hmm.
Herb puffs his chest up.
Oh, it's fallen.
He seems
Ayla
prepared
fluffs
for
her feathers back at Herb.
He puts both wings out wide, trying to make himself look bigger.
We are not fighting with the ASMR. That is a bad idea. No fighting the ASMR! No! Calm down.
I don't think that would go well for you there, little pal.
Her wings are much bigger. That is not an insult to you. That is simply a person that's not bird size.
Herb tucks his wings back. He gives a pouty look that suggests my wings are just fine, thank you. Never heard any complaints.
I pat his head.
Given
Zaza.
Ramiel's history with Cadence's family and Evelyn's promise, is there anything?
Also, Brayley, give me a history check to see if you know where there might be a temple. Ramiel, the Silver Wolf, it maybe when you think of the Silver Wolf, you think of Fauna. That's the
I
first thing
think
that
of
comes to
Fauna,
mind.
Yeah.
You used to hear Melody's stories about Varys meeting with this giant silver wolf. That's what you think of.
And none of the outside of Sir Varys, none of the other Whispers in Silence iconography or Queen's Lament would have had any connections.
No, in the Queen's Lament or in the Whispers, no. Not that you can
Okay.
think of. It's possible you don't yet have all the information you need.
Mm-hmm.
Darkfuck's gonna roll a d6 to give his inspo away.
All right.
I got a 17.
Yeah, absolutely. DC was 10, so yeah. Yes, there are. The elves are, by and large, a very religious people, and obviously it's a weird time for that, given that the age of the gods just ended. So a lot of temples and places of worship are going through a lot of change right now as people start to adjust to this new world where the divine are not so readily available. But there are temples, especially to the older gods. And the twin gods of nature or goddesses of nature have been around for a very, very long time. So Flora and Fauna's temple would still be here, and you'd be able to guide them to it. It's up in the wealthier parts of town. So Herb sticks his foot out again, like,
What
Come
do you
on.
wish to say to Cadence back? He wishes to do his job.
Should we
Seems
ask
a lot
her?
of change.
Also, my shoulder is hurting. I'm sorry. That's it. That's the truth. I'm gonna need a sling for you.
We can cut off a couple of those pounds, Herb.
Oh my god. Cut off.
Cough.
right now,
Discreetly.
Nova, like, he's on the shoulder closer to Braley. He goes around your back onto your other shoulder.
I don't think he likes that option. I think he likes the way he is.
Well, we're gonna need lunch real soon.
I think we will make a little girl cry if we eat the pigeon.
Yeah. At that, Herb starts flapping his wings again, and like, he doesn't fly up because he can't. So he more just flies to the side and then slowly lowers back down to the ground and then waddles off down the street.
Too late for the note.
Should we follow him?
I
I'd
Don't-
rather he not end up as someone else's lunch, especially if
I think he doesn't.
he came
I
from
think he's running
Cadence.
from you, Brayley.
Puck, go follow him.
Puck quickly hops on down and just starts marching off like a little mushroom man.
oh my god, if Puck comes back with with
You're
Herb, like
scared.
riding Herb,
Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay.
like a little
Be
mushroom
safe,
man on a
Herb.
steed.
I know Herb is still around because he can't have gotten far, so I'll call and say, Herb, safe travels.
You just hear back, and he keeps going.
Okay.
Yes, safe.
You're pretty sure that he said, "Lady, I'm a pigeon."
Well, I tried. Try to be nice to all of God's creatures, and this is what I get.
He was
Lady,
very
I'm
nice to you. He gave you the message. He seemed to like you plenty.
Mhm.
All
And then
right.
someone tried to eat him. He's like,
Hangry, you know.
nah.
We can all be guilty of that.
I mean, it's true.
Do we need to eat it before you start eating the silver wolf that we are approaching?
Yeah, there's gotta be vendors nearby, right? Just
Oh,
Yeah, just
especially down here. Yes. People are preparing street food all over the place. It's a lot of seafood. If you're not into fish or crustaceans, you're not probably going to have a great time. It is an entire section of the city that is on the water.
Grilled squid.
Yeah, I mean, basically, if it's a seafood dish you can think of, you can find it down here.
Well, I am still stuffed from breakfast, so
That's true. Yeah, you are not hungry, Nova.
I think I will be ready to move on to this temple when we are.
you don't want clams or anything for lunch?
I
Or,
There's plenty here.
or oysters. I'm
Maybe?
pretty sure Nova had her fill of oysters and clams. Earlier.
sausages.
I think there's tacos over there.
Fish tacos, let's
Fish
go!
tacos,
Nova,
yeah.
at Ramiel's remark, you hear in your head, spoken like a true virgin. It's never enough when it's good.
Be nice. He's trying. All right. I'm ready to go to the temple when y'all are ready.
Is that where we're heading next? The temple?
I think so.
thought so.
This seems urgent.
Riley's gonna
for-
grab like obnoxiously huge like skewered squid that's barbecued, and she's
Yeah.
just gonna munch that on the way.
Just taking bites out of it as
Yeah.
you go along. You
Um,
make. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. As we're making to the our way to the temple, I'm gonna tap Ayla on the shoulder, and go. Would you mind hanging back for a bit? There's something I'd like to inquire about.
Yeah,
If
you two can fall back far enough to have a private conversation.
just doing this as we're munching on some squid. Squid.
Sure.
And Ramiel kind of like walks in tandem with Ayla and just not even really like looking at her, just go. So I don't suppose now would be a good time to ask about certain things.
Depends on what you mean by certain things.
If definitely not about this morning.
I was about to say, like, Mal, we already gave Melody the talk. We're not giving Ramiel the talk, too.
he knows. He knows.
Okay,
He's
we're just checking.
know. Um. I hope I'm not overstepping my my boundaries here, but I don't know if whatever we encountered in the forest was any anything to trust. But it seemed to have had a personal a personal insight into some things, namely a name I didn't think I'd really hear here in Mother's Jail.
Are you going to get to the point, or
All right. Let me not beat around the bush then. You are not you're not a Stormborn, are you? Much like my moniker that I chose to go by. You went you go under a different name.
think the air around Ayla starts to smell a little bit like ozone,
Mm-hmm.
just because it's a name that I gave myself doesn't make it any less mine.
I agree. I just thought it'd be to the benefit of the group if we were made aware of any connections pertaining your identity.
Be to the benefit of the group if you forget that name exists.
Why do you hate it so much?
I think she just shakes her head and flies up ahead.
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah. He's not
Uh,
tactful.
No, Ramil, you sense there might be something of a sore spot there.
Mhm.
You got enough insight for that
What's
one.
your passive insight?
Passive insight 13.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Couple things that you note. I would say. Obviously, Ayla does not particularly care for her old name.
Mhm.
Nor does she. Whatever circumstances she came from originally were clearly not good. And she, much like you took a guise to not have to. Oh, well, you took a guise in a manner of trying to pass yourself off as something greater, but you don't really have a problem with who you were. She clearly does not care for who she once was.
Just gonna keep chewing the squid. And
That
if she
that
does
sounds like
touch,
a euphemism for something. I don't know what for, but it sounds like a euphemism for something.
it's grilled squid. But yeah, if and when Ayla does touch back down, Ramiel is gonna keep his distance from her.
That's fair. You all make your way up to the nobles district, and Brayley is able to lead you to the Temple of Flora and Fauna. Like most temples to flora and fauna, it isn't a temple in the way that you normally would think of one. It is more of a park with a shrine in the center of it. So picture a nice outdoor park, some trees and a stone walkway in the center, and in the middle of it there is a fountain that has a wolf on it, wearing a crown of flowers. And indeed, the wolf wearing a floral wreath is the symbol of flora and fauna.
But what color is its fur?
Well, it's made of stone, so hard to say.
Oh, fair enough.
I would say slate.
I'm assuming Brayley was kind of guiding them here.
Yeah.
She's gonna turn around, there's barbecue all over her face. We're here, guys.
Wait, you said this was the nobles district?
You're up in probably the wealthier part of town.
Okay, and this is a temple, or is it like a park?
If you asked where's the temple to flora and fauna, this is what they'd tell you, but it's not a temple the way you think of one. It's not like a building. It is a fountain in the center of a park. That is the temple to flora and fauna.
Dog park.
Just because this god is different.
Yeah, listen,
This is not like other gods.
having played in Whispers in Silence, I think Kiona, are well aware that flora and
Oh,
fauna
yeah.
would give a shit.
Oh yeah, I'm just having fun with this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's like a botanical garden type of thing.
Kinda. I mean, just picture a city park with a fountain in the center. That's basically what it is.
Huh. Well, we've arrived at a silver stone wolf. Noble kind of look around the fountain. Not really sure what to look for.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty ordinary midday as you're there. It's probably around noon. I mean, there's people running around and playing in the park, but nothing really catches your eye.
Nothing nothing painted in silver or like
Make a perception check.
Oop. Sick. 5. 15. Never
Oh, so I
mind.
see
What the
15.
fuck? Hello?
Hey.
You don't see anything painted in silver, or you certainly don't see a silver wolf other than maybe the statue, which, again, do you consider slate gray to be silver? Yeah, nothing really stands out to you.
What would the Cadens wish for us to know about?
We were meant to follow.
Assuming this is in fact what was meant by that.
And as Ayla pointed out, when was that pigeon supposed to arrive?
Hmm.
Or is Cadence just, again, being a 9-year-old playing secret agent?
Mm. Do I? Does Romuel know that Cadence has this particular habit, or is this just her being like a
Make-
9-year-old?
Make a history check about Cadence.
Okay,
See what you know about her.
but do
She has
Sick.
She has a silver wolf that she carries around with her.
Mm.
On a 2, I will tell you only what you would know. Having grown up around her, Cadence is unusual. Even by the standards of that family, Cadence is unusual. Where Arya takes after Tashira to a fault, Cadence is much more like Melody. If Melody... Cadence has been known to have visions, or so she says. She describes fantastic dreams sometimes that she says that she has while she's awake. Melody has attempted in the past to have Martine and Rialta look at her and try and talk her through it and see if maybe it is something to do with the stars or one of the
Or fate.
goddesses therein. Either Talia or Selena. But they were never able to really find anything. But that is what you know. Other than that, she's a pretty happy child. She is very pleasant. She likes to sing. And those are the basics of kind of what you know about her.
Of these visions that Cadence has, do I know of any that have come to fruition? Or do they have like the tendency to be like
Yeah.
They do make sense too.
Some of them are sensible when she speaks them. Other ones make no goddamn sense. Like, some of the things that she says, you're just like, again, okay, here's a 9-year-old who, made up a story. Some of them have been, over the years, a little bit more plain to see. Yeah. And they have sometimes come true.
While we're all taking a gander around, I will, in the course of that, cast Detect Magic, just for
Okay.
funsies.
Well, you do see a gaggle of geese.
Magic geese?
No, but that's where the gander is.
Fair enough.
Let's see. You detect magic. You detect magic, and there is a what's it called? There is a faint conjuration spell on the fountain.
Gasp. What is a conjure?
On examination, the first guess I have is that is where how the water is being made to move.
You seem to be pretty certain that is the case. Yes, that
Okay.
there's no piping that leads to this. It literally is just conjuring water.
At least it's not blood water.
That's
Yeah,
true. We've encountered that before.
That's true. That has happened.
It's somewhere in a different life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
About 20 years ago.
ish?
Give or take.
Meat sticks. Wait.
Do you,
Wait,
Ramiel?
what?
Meat sticks? What are we sticking meat in?
Well, since you
I have a
asked,
suggestion.
Yes.
Oh, just where to stick some meat.
Aruna, now is not the time. You had enough of that last night. I think you can be sated for at least a day. You're You're not saying anything that's making me
She
nervous.
goes quiet. Yeah, she didn't say anything to that.
Ramo,
She's
do you
gonna be
share?
at it again.
Damn it. Ramo, are you sharing any of that about Cadence?
Ayla, what's your passive perception?
Not great.
Okay.
It's
9.
less-
You swear for a moment you feel something stroke over your cheek, but there's nothing there.
Aruna! You're making this hard. Making this so hard.
Romuald is less gonna share it and more he's gonna be talking to himself because he's like he's gonna be like, on the one hand it's a lesser from Cadence. On the other hand, if this is a Cadence vision that we're talking about, then
This Cadence has visions?
Indeed, that seems like it might be relevant.
Well, at least she's had a few instances where she will talk about something completely out of the blue, and at some point, one way or another, it makes sense. It got to the point where Mum had to call in trusted advisors who would be experts in this sort of thing, and to no avail.
Well, if she has visions that do not often make sense, and she decided to simply send this, then I don't know what else we can do unless she can give us more information.
That is true. If only we had a feathery
Friend to give a letter to that we did not threaten to eat. Yes, I agree.
None of you have ever seen Nova so defensive over something as she is this pigeon.
This is her pigeon.
Well, if we had lunch before meeting the pigeon, I'm sorry, okay?
I'll keep that in mind the next time we meet a fellow animal friend. In any regard, I do not know what else there is to find of this silver wolf, but we certainly do have a mission from an adult that is clear of what we must do.
We've
What's that?
secured what? 3 of the Council of 5?
Yes,
at
that's
this point?
it is.
You have 2 yays and a
wishy-washy.
maybe.
Yes,
2
2
yeas
yeas
and a
and a
maybe.
maybe.
2.5.
So,
Off camera, maybe.
with that, you all head back down. The Lone Truth is the easiest, I think. Well, the second easiest of the ships to find. The easiest would be the Blood Price, which is the Admiral's ship. But the second easiest, by sheer nature of its size, is the Lone Truth. Much like the Forges were, the Lone Truth is not one ship, but rather several ships that have all been attached to one another by a series of gangways and rope bridges going from like the masts to each other. This has been converted into a marketplace. And here indeed, there are many people selling their wares. You can get kind of everything you need to get here, or, well, I shouldn't say anything, but the things the people here need to survive can be had. And in the wheelhouse of the kind of the main ship, the one that actually has the placard, the Lone Truth on it, that is the quarters of Captain Canis Mistal. But as you enter on to the gangway, there is a Dragonborn who kind of nods to you all and just grunts. Welcome to the Lone Truth Market.
Oh, it's a market.
Yes, so that ship over there is going to have food and other edibles. That ship over there, don't say it, Brayley, don't say it. That ship over there is going to be building supplies, weaponry and armors over there. We've even got one for books now, I think. So Whatever you need to find, it'll probably be around here somewhere.
Perhaps you can you can help us then. Which ship would this help us? And he just kind of discreetly shows the gold brooch.
Oh.
Oh no!
Sorry, usually the captain brings his boys in with him. Yeah, of course. No, you're gonna head over to that ship there and head down below deck, and they'll get you outfitted.
Pardon?
No.
Aruna, now I feel bad for him.
Aruna's like, I want to see where this goes.
Oh,
Pardon. I'm not quite sure I caught that the first time.
Ram, what does he mean by the boys?
Layla definitely lets out an audible snort of laughter.
Oh my god! Ooh.
Now we know where to take this lovely boy. Let us go. Trying to get us moving.
We'll find a way to entertain ourselves while you're occupied.
I had a feeling. It's not the only bro she's giving out.
It's not. So where do you go?
To the direction.
I guess like to the ship he pointed.
Yeah, you make your way over onto this ship. This ship doesn't really have things for sale so much as it has a stage on the top floor and looks to be a theater ship.
We need to go back. This is the wrong destination. Unless you are here to put on a show, Ramiel.
That's what he assumes.
I have spells for that.
Oh, that is impressive.
And I mean, Mom did teach me a few
Grease.
songs, but I'm not quite sure I'm confident in my level of performance in that respect. I'm no bard.
I don't think it is the confidence in your singing, but the confidence in you without clothes.
Ramiel?
What?
A voice
Stiffens.
speaks out. Indeed, standing at the door or at the stairs leading up towards the wheelhouse is a man. He stands relatively short for an elf, probably only about 5'8". He wears his hair is pulled back into a long ponytail, and he wears a long, loose coat that runs all the way down and covers up most of his body. However, you can tell that underneath he is wearing an extremely tight corset. And he is very handsome.
Would you say this corset is not just down here, but like full body?
Make a perception check.
I'm not good at those.
Or an investigation. I'd let you make
Investigation's only +1, but it's a little bit better. 20. Dirty 20.
Nova, looking over this person, yes, you can tell that the corset is not designed for the stomach as much as to bind the chest. Your belief is this man is a Nihilist. Probably female to male.
All right. Just curious.
But he looks down and speaks. That is you, Ramiel. I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to be here. Welcome to the Lone Truth.
He remembers your name. That is a good sign. Push!
Ramiel is
Do a big old shove.
stunned, to say the least. He is looking at Canis with mouth kind of mouth kind of open. And who's closest to Ramiel in like proximity wise?
I jokingly said I shoved you, but it doesn't have to be me.
Oh, before you do shove Ramiel, you do hear very low beautiful from somewhere. Canis,
He raises an eyebrow. It's Captain Mistal on my ship.
right.
There is a kind of a slight grin tugging at his cheeks.
Well then, best not to make a fool out of myself the second time around then, huh? And Ramiel is going to straighten up,
I
and
doubt it.
he's gonna give Canis the most formal bow, most formal, most lowest bow that he can manage.
Come now, I don't think that is quite necessary. Oh, I understand. You must all be the ones who've been making the rounds in the port this morning.
That is correct. Ramiel did say he had met you, so that was our in. But yes, that is why we are here.
Frankly, I wasn't sure that the same Canis that I met last time I was here in Skeleth would be the Captain Canis Mistal of the Council of Five.
Well, I see that, Ramiel dear, you are traveling in the companies of 4 lovely ladies. Perhaps I misjudged your tastes.
What? Ramiel kind of like looks confused at that.
Show your hand, Ramiel.
My hand. It just like
God
moves
damn.
hands.
He might be clueless, but I don't think he misjudged his taste.
I see.
I think you're misreading our current traveling arrangements. We all feel quite safe around Mr. Ramiel.
I mean, I'd sure hope so. You are trusted companions, and I wouldn't have chosen all of you if not for the fact that I trust your abilities.
Does he sound like
Oh.
a straight man to you? I do not think so.
Oh, these are the ones you were going to recruit last time we spoke.
Oh, Ramiel already speaking of us.
Well,
He
at
didn't
the
mention you by
time-
name. He just said he was going to look for, what was it that you said? Grand heroes who might change the world, I believe you were looking for.
Well, what can I say? I'm a mummy's boy.
Rayleigh still has barbecue on her face, by the way.
I
you
offer
you see-
Rayleigh a handkerchief.
Yeah. Why don't we all go upstairs and speak? And he turns and leads you up into the wheelhouse, which has been converted into a living space, as it's not too often that there is a need to steer the ship. It has a simple bed and a area that's blocked off by a divider. Outside of that, a meeting table with a map on it, but not a whole lot else. It's very plain. Canis nods and bids that you all may sit. And there's a number of chairs in the room if you wish.
You do not have extravagant tastes, I see.
In possessions, no. Just in people.
Oh,
That is certainly something to say. My goodness.
I beg to differ. On that note, and Ramiel produces the brooch and sets it down. I believe this belongs to you.
She smiles, or he smiles. Keep it. It served its purpose. It brought you back to me.
Slight tinge of pink. Oh.
Now, what is it that brings you all to Mitra Scaleth? As much as I would love, or my ego would love, to believe that Ramiel dragged you all here to see me, I somehow doubt it.
We are here on behalf of the Children of the Deep. And the Children of the Deep is looking to cross the sea.
Cross the sea. The Children of the Deep are most well known for not coming out of their holes.
And that is changing. Times are changing.
As has been the case for quite a while in these areas, the situation is fluid.
And you wish to cross the sea, I'm assuming, unimpeded.
We are
That would be desirable.
We're looking to cross unimpeded, and we are asking those who wish to join, or those who we can ask, to join us in our strike.
And what precisely are you striking?
I guess, right? At the
I was gonna say it was just making landing, wasn't it?
Yeah, right now you're invading the mainland. Your ultimate goal is to defeat the Draconic Legion, but as far as she knows, you might be after the Warden Republic.
Yeah.
Or the Silver Horde.
We are planning to make for mainland to strike at the Draconic Legion.
She reaches out and
She?
goes over. God damn it, I gotta stop saying she. He reaches out. When I play trans characters, I'm used to them being trans women. He reaches out and goes over to a large bucket that has a number of maps in it and starts digging through a couple of them. When he returns, he sets it down onto the table and spreads it out. This map is of the Mother's Jail mainland. Only the top of it shows where like the long jump is, but this one is clearly meant to show the current battle states on the mainland. And he looks it over, thinking, well, if you're looking to land on the mainland, then you have only a couple of options, really. High Wall would be your best bet if you can get down to 3 roads from there. It would be possible to set up a defensive position in the eye. But your further goals of assaulting the Draconic Legion are difficult. The ice scale mountains block most travel to the south, and to approach from a naval side would require you to get through the Warden Republic. But I'm assuming that you're not hiring me to plan that section of your battle. You just want to be able to get across the long jump.
To get across, and if you are, well, the truth is that people much higher than us is making such decisions. You could be at the forefront of such things with your excellent ideas.
We wouldn't want to impose, especially given your current obligations to Azia's remembrance as an acting member of the Council of Five.
Yes, an acting member of the Council of Five. I am a sailor who has not sailed in 3 years.
You did strike me as someone who valued their freedom.
It is boring here. I have, in terms of our goals and our feelings on the matter, we are very much in alignment. I don't have a problem with allowing you to cross the long jump, and as far as I'm concerned, I would be thrilled to fight alongside you.
But I'm hearing a but coming on. And not like that, really.
Yeah, it seems as though there is something you're working up to.
Azur's remembrance is not what it once was. There was a time we were the most powerful navy on the planet, and that includes Scala's. However, after our numerous and humiliating defeats, the hands of the Warden Republic, we were forced to retreat here into this bay where we have sat mostly rusting for the last few years. And those who venture out do so mostly of their own volition at this point. My concern isn't so much that I think it's wrong to try to ally with you. My concern is that I would ally with you, and then our pirates would keep attacking you anyway. I don't know that the Admiral has as tight a grip on their leash as he might like to portray.
Well, what would bring these people together?
It is hard to say. They have all grown so different and have all grown used to operating under their own volition. You spoke with Captain Luca. You can see he is a singularly minded individual. Then there is Captain Akanai, who is a bit of a zealot. Dominic, well, I think he would just as well sue for peace.
Tell me, what brought y'all together in the first place?
After Azure was slain and the Azure Isles butchered to a man, I guess vengeance was originally what brought us together. Our people were murdered wholesale.
So you're saying that you need a reminder of this for the remembrance?
A common enemy?
He kind of chuckles. Many have taken to the allure of piracy. They don't feel like they can make a difference in the war, but they can line their pockets. As with many things, it is a feeling of helplessness that brings out the worst in us.
Would not an alliance like this have the potential to change that course? That powerlessness?
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
I probably should have helped with that. It is all up to you.
Persuasion. Hey, this is one of my better characters for that. I actually have a... It's sad that a +3...
Miriani must have been pretty good at it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't the face
Trained.
much.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's true. She wasn't.
$13?
They seem to think about it for a long moment. As we are now, this consortium of pirates, we can't help you. That is my belief. But if the Admiral would consider reorganizing us into a naval force once again, we would need considerable help from our elven allies here to do it. But if we were to reorganize and re-prepare the fleet to move out in force, become the military that we once were, it could work. It might wrangle in the more zealous as we're actually taking action, and that is what drives them. And it might shake those who have fallen into a malaise out of their torpor.
Then that is what we present to the Admiral.
If that is what you present, you'll have my backing.
Show them hope.
Show them movement, change. This
A
war has been
renewal.
deadlocked for them for the better part of 10 years now.
As I said, a renewal of purpose.
Indeed.
Good for everyone involved.
Just that.
You said this military force initially banded together in the name of vengeance.
Yes.
Small grimace.
Shizu of the Azure was the one who spoke out against the Dawn Scale and her plans of a unified Draconic Legion. Shizu reminded us of what happened the last time the entirety of the Dragonborn people were banded together for one cause. In fact, every time we've been banded together. It's never been a good cause. Shizu suggested that we would be better off remaining as we are, and that was taken as treason. And our people were butchered.
For the simple act of having a memory. A sort of very tight control in Layla's voice.
Yeah. So. Well, thank you, Anne's Adventures. Welcome in, Raiders. And welcome in, Massface. Thank you for the follow. So. You've already spoken with Dominic and Luca and with Shagrash.
This is correct.
So that leaves Lillian.
Mm-hmm.
As with all the other captains, she kind of gets a look, or he gets a look on his face. Great.
You seem
seem
disagreeable
all-
with her.
You don't seem all that thrilled.
Lillian is... She wants this a little bit too much. Her idolization of heroes past has driven her to, well, extremes at times. Don't get me wrong, she's an extraordinarily capable captain, and her people are loyal to her to the death. But she can be extreme, even for my tastes.
When you say heroes of the past, who are you referring to specifically?
I cannot say for certain. I just know that she named her ship after the ship of a naval hero from the era of the Queen's Lament.
Wait. Lady in Waiting.
The Lady in Waiting is the name of her ship, yes.
Wait. Lorelei?
But the Queen's Lament did meet someone named Lillian, who was supposedly a captain of a ship named
Yeah.
the Lady in Waiting.
Wait, who was the lady in one?
That
Or
is the
goddess of
goddess
one.
Lorelei, but we're talking about
That
the
is-
Yeah,
ship
she's the
Lillian.
goddess of one.
Yeah, that's
was
okay.
two
Lorelei.
Yeah,
different
this
two
is
different things.
Different things.
I'm mixing up my pantheon. Shit.
Well, that is good to know, but I think if we can give her a target, that will be helpful.
Yes. If you point her in the direction of action, you will likely have her support. Ironically, she will probably be the easiest of the five of us.
So what you're saying is, Captain Lillian is a force to be reckoned with. But if we are able to somewhat harness such force, it could possibly work in a favor.
How does she listen to the Admiral?
She's never been stupid enough to directly disobey the Admiral, but she is known to,
Over the line.
yes, to stretch the bounds of maybe what her orders are.
Well, from what you said, she sounds like she's the one who hasn't lost focus.
More than any of us, I think, her focus remains on vengeance.
And we make use of that.
Indeed. Well, it was productive.
Well, do not let me keep you, except you, Ramiel. Might I have a moment?
Of course.
Just make sure you can still walk, yes?
He smiles.
Ramiel raises an eyebrow at that.
That was definitely Aruna. I was ready to leave.
As everyone else leaves, he just takes his coat and hangs it up and just kind of flops down on the one of the chairs, putting two fingers against his temple as he looks at you.
Long day.
They all are. So, last time we got to talk and, well, you impressed me. That's why I gave you that brooch.
I don't know if there's anything to be impressed about as far as how we first met. I quite literally ran into you.
It wasn't you running into me that I was impressed by, it was your words. All day, every day, I listen to people around this port talk about the great return to the sea and the day that we all march on the mainland and the yada, yada, yada. And none of it means anything. They don't actually have the will to do it, at least not yet. But when you went out and told me that you were going to go find heroes to change the world, I believed it when you said it.
Call it wishful thinking on my part.
Sometimes that's how it starts.
Ain't
I
that
grew
the
up
truth?
with a lot of wishful thinking. And here I am. Now who I wanted to be.
And who did you want to be?
Anything but who I was. I wanted to stop being a stranger.
And
Do you know what the term Nihilist means?
does Ramiel know
I
that?
think you probably do. I mean, it is an elvish word, so I would...
And I feel like since we were pretty cordial, it would have come up.
Yeah, I mean, you might be aware, or you might not, that Layla is a Nihilist. Nihilist is an elvish word. It doesn't have a good translation into the common tongue either of Dragonborn or of human. But what it loosely translates to is someone who knows a great truth about themselves. And it is usually refers to people who are born one gender but live as another.
I believe so.
He nods. I was young when my parents threw me out, but I knew even then that I wanted to be someone who could make a difference. And I would never be it as the person that I was. And I think you know what that's like.
Painfully so.
I was not born Captain Canis Mistal. It was someone I chose to be. And whether you're Nihilist or not, whether you're born noble or peasant, none of it matters. You are always who you choose to be, and that is what impressed me about you.
Well, I don't think I deserve such words from you.
Well, lucky for me, I don't give a damn what you think.
Is that so?
Well, maybe a little bit.
Oh, God.
Well, since we are being truthful about and personal about such matters, I suppose I ought to thank you for helping me realize something.
He tilts his head.
When I met you, I thought you were the most beautiful man I've ever encountered. And
He blushes very deeply.
and yes, you are quite
Please say handsome, even if you don't mean it.
I do mean it.
Thank you.
You I don't have any words to describe how transcendent transcendental your appearance is. If someone were to tell me what was what would come up first in my head, if they were to tell me, think of the most think of the aspect of beauty, it would be you.
He stands up and walks over
Oh, God.
and kind of leans down and tilts your chin up.
Oh, my God.
You are a sweet talker. And he
I-
leans in and kisses you.
Oh, my God.
And as it breaks, he says, now go catch up with your friends before I don't let you leave.
Oh, I wasn't aware that was I was going to say that you helped me realize that and he's going to make the hand motion for that. Or, well, at least like you confirmed it for me. But wow. Oh, right.
If you need a moment before you're able to stand, I'll understand.
Oh, that's not no. Goodness, this is quite hot in here, isn't it?
We could fix that.
Uh,
Oh my god.
as as lovely as that would sound, I must respectfully decline. At the very least, as of the moment.
You know,
Uh,
Romeo.
how do I put this?
I have a boyfriend.
And he's going to take Canis's hand, one of his hands, and just put it between his own, and just go, Canis, I frankly don't know how I feel at the moment, but with oh god, I'm flattered, really.
In the words of your dragonborn friend, I sense a butt coming.
That was me.
It's less of a butt and more of a
A different person's butt.
Yeah, if there was a butt coming, this would be a very different conversation.
and more of a pending certain discussions that need to be done. But I'd be remiss if I left with some sort of misunderstandings. I the truth is, yes, I do like you, and frankly, I'm flattered that that the feeling is mutual. Um, but the truth of the matter is, you are not the first to capture my sensibilities in such a way.
Oh. You might have led with that before I kissed you.
You didn't give me the chance.
You're right. That's
Although
on
to
me.
be fair, if you met him, I think you'd find him to be quite the lovely person.
Sounds a little complicated. I apologize for overstepping my bounds.
No, not at all. But for
I appreciate your honesty. Perhaps I will get to meet this beau of yours.
he's quite lovely. He cooks.
Well, that's
He
something I can't say for myself, so.
he made he made an entire spread of uh some kind of meat pie, some raspberry tarts, some kind of flaky.
Ramiel. It's okay. I will see you later when we speak with the Admiral. Now, go catch up with your friends before I invoke Captain's right on you.
God.
Right, I've been meaning to ask, what the fuck is up with this brooch? You
Oh.
gave it to me, and then your man at the door was he referred to it as one of your boys.
Yes, I've been known to give them to people I fancy, and some of them stay on my crew.
Because I wish Ryan was Would you be open to revisiting this particular topic in the future? I just need to speak with someone.
If the winds blow that way, we shall see. Now go.
How tall is he again? He's
Like
5'8",
5'9".
right?
Yeah, 5'8", 5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
How
Not
fucking
particularly.
tall am I? Hold on. Oh my god, hold on.
I thought May's love life was complicated.
Ramiel stands up to his full height, full 6'2",
He looks up.
and his turn.
Notably, as he looks up, he does so with big time, like, small dom energy. He has a very steely gaze that pierces the soul, even looking up.
And standing at his full height, Ramiel is going to look down at Canis, meet his gaze, and return the favor of tilting his chin up.
Oh god.
It's small, just a small grin.
They return the kiss, do you kiss them?
No, he's
Just
gonna lean in close, like just close enough to
Tantalize.
mhm.
He's a tease.
His lips curl into a smile, and he says, "You have 60 seconds to get off my ship before I will not be held responsible for what happens."
God.
Darling, you may be the captain of this ship, but give it time. You may be
45, 44.
Oh my god.
There's one thing that you need to know about Micanus. And he's going to lean in a little closer. I like to make sure that my partner consents. I like to make sure my partners like each other. So, yeah, give it time. Yeah?
14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7.
Gentle press on his lips. Just a small parting gift, yeah.
Yeah. Now get.
And he's gonna turn and walk out.
I thought we were gonna be down a Ramiel for the rest of this.
Nah.
About 4 more seconds.
Real close.
All right. And with that, you are all freed from from the Lone Truth, and head on out more towards the edge of the docks, where these are ships that are still active. These ones, you see that there are cranes that are still loading and unloading supplies onto them, and a number of them are resupplying things like gunpowder and weaponry, bandages, water, potable water, notably. And that is where you find one with the bronzed placard reading, "The Lady in Waiting."
Well, there she is. And we have kind of figured out her connection as the Dahlia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are aware that this is the woman who attacked the theater, the Misty Gala. The other ships that you've visited so far have been easy to climb aboard. as you know, a market. There's like double gangways that lead up to them. This one only has a single gangway on it, and it is guarded, unlike some of the other ships that you've been on recently. Standing at the base of it is an elven man. He is quite tall, and he is missing an arm, notably. But as you approach, he glances over at you and kind of makes a face. Wenches?
Not today.
Raises an eyebrow. What is it with these fucking captains?
That's on Thursdays, but today we wish to speak to your captain about, some deals that we've been making with the other captains.
Oh, I wouldn't lead with that.
Oh, we won't. We know what she's interested in, I think.
I think you'll find it a wise choice once we're done elucidating.
Is that so?
We'll be quick.
Sure, why not? It's your lives. And he stands aside and allows you up the gangway. The lady in waiting is more what you think of when you think of a pirate ship. It is in no way converted for like living. It is a battleship that is meant to run up alongside other ships, disable them, loot them, and then sink them. That is what it is meant to do, and everything about its architecture suggests a design that it has 2 gangways that actually rotate over the side onto the front of the ship and then can be swung out over another boat. It also is one of the few ships you've seen that runs a double mast, meaning that it must be a pretty quick ship as far as the ones in the fleet go. It also doesn't fly colors of Azur's Remembrance. It flies black flags, which is unusual for Azur's Remembrance, you would say. As most of them, even when they're engaging in piracy, still fly the flags of Azur's Remembrance. And people are working on this. There is no leisure to be found on this ship. Everyone is working, getting the ship cleaned and resupplied and ready to head back out. Up on the upper deck where the steering column is, you do see what you... Well, I mean, you recognize them by the height, I would say, as the masked individual in the theater. They are elven and have long, shimmering purple hair that runs midway down their back and bright, glowing orange eyes. They are indeed Feyborn, and they are currently chewing out somebody who looks like they are about to watch, like they're seeing their life flash before their eyes.
Captain?
And another... everyone make a perception check.
Okay.
Oh boy. 7. I don't see it coming.
It's a 15.
$25.
Um,
I do see it coming.
Layla, as the captain looks at you, I think you catch it, just for a brief moment, a glimmer of recognition in her eyes, as if she is looking at you and going, "Oh, I've seen these people before." And she quickly puts her poker face back on as she looks at you all. And what are you doing on my ship?
We come with a proposition for him.
Is that so? And who sent you?
Children of the Deep?
Military?
They're about
Yes.
to make a military strike.
So yes.
Yes.
Speak.
The children of the deep wish passage through the long jump.
I'm sure they do.
And anyone who also wishes to join for the strike against the Draconic Legion.
And
Looking to make some movement towards the end of this conflict.
interesting. I don't take you all for people interested in ending the conflict.
I assure you,
A situation.
it is utmost in my mind.
I think we are not all what we seem. Wouldn't you agree, Captain?
Too true.
Situations have changed.
All right. Well, then why don't we just lay some cards on the table? You defended my wife's theater.
Your wife?
Your wife.
She did not seem to share the same sentiment, unless there's divorce papers that she was not served.
Well, I don't remember ever signing any divorce papers, no.
So
No, she is my wife.
Well, to be forthright with you, it doesn't matter to us whose it was. It was the right thing to do.
I mean, why exactly would you want to blow up your wife's theater? I mean,
Seems like a very strange way of foreplay.
Well, believe me when I tell you that she'd be into it, but
Yeah, she would. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, she wouldn't. Phelan would kill her. But anyway.
she's become everything that she once stood against.
meaning.
Well, you were there. You sat among that crowd of rich fucks, just enjoying, sipping their wine and letting themselves believe that they're helping out, that they're making their charitable contributions to the Great War effort.
And you disagreed.
With a bomb.
Yeah. It wouldn't have exploded, mind you, but
Really? Because it
was
did.
Somewhat hard to tell.
Yes.
it wasn't supposed to, but then someone zapped it with lightning. He looks at Ayla. Ayla. I hadn't designed it to explode.
Doesn't
Just
seem
give
like much
everyone
of
a
bomb
scare.
In that case, now does it?
Well, it wasn't designed to actually destroy anything. It was designed to give everyone a little jolt. But you accomplished the same thing. The explosion actually worked out quite well.
Did it now?
The children of the deep are here asking me for an alliance to go to war. I would say it worked out perfectly.
Well,
That is-
funny enough, completely independent of that, but
You can choose to believe that if you like.
Yeah, coincidences, you know? Be that as it may, we.
Are you in?
I presume you're asking me because you intend to ask the Admiral.
Oh, yes, quite.
But also on a personal level.
We're
The
working our
more-
way up, yes.
The more people we can help convince, the better the odds.
Hmm.
And the Admiral does respect you, from what I understand.
Well, he listens. The Lady in Waiting sails as it always has, in pursuit of vengeance against those who took it upon themselves to butcher an entire people. If the children of the deep have decided to get their heads out of their asses at last and stand and fight, then you'll not find an enemy on this ship.
Indeed, I feel we're going to get along quite nicely,
Good.
being at such matched purposes.
That's good. You wouldn't leave this ship alive otherwise.
You control your crew well,
Yes.
so as long as you give the orders, they will do whatever you ask.
Correct.
We want to make sure that we are in agreement. As I know, independence has been a strong suit of your leadership.
Yes. It is many captains all deciding what they think is best and not listening to a single unified voice anymore. I was just a first mate when we were still a navy. I have only ever known captaining in this environment. I do not find it conducive. But as most people here are content to just wallow away in their sickliness, I've taken it upon myself to remind us of who we are and what we are willing to do.
And will
How about instead what my end goal is?
What is your end goal?
to end the war.
In
To end
what
the
capac-
war.
In what capacity?
Well, what do you see happening at the end of this war when, let's say, everything goes according to plan and the dawn scale lies broken and beaten on the morning peaks?
Peace
What-
in Mother's Jail.
Peace and Mothersville.
Justice against the dawn scale.
You think there will be peace when this is over?
In time. I acknowledge it will not be easy to accomplish, but that is the goal. That is why I am here at all.
Personally speaking, I am here to honor a pact. Of what exactly, I don't know. I just have this urging, this push. And I think accomplishing the end to this war will help with that. But on a personal level, on a more immature level, I want to be like the heroes that grace my mother's songs. Maybe one day people will speak of the Lorests in battles, in feats of glory. And I hope to make my mark on that.
Ramiel, make a persuasion check with advantage.
17.
I get that.
Years ago, a ragtag group of unlikely individuals managed to accomplish the impossible. They beat Scala.
Well, history is full of instances of that happening. It's what this ship is named for. 800 years ago, a captain in Scala's navy betrayed her and became a pirate and pillaged and wreaked havoc on the good queen's navy. Her name was Lillian Akanai. And she met her end in the city of Stone's Throw on Terrasen. She helped the Queen's Lament escape from the good queen herself and was made example of for it. Her innards were strung up over Stone's Throw for all to see. And when I heard that story, it changed something in me. That was someone who did what most people would say was wrong, engaging in piracy and criminality. And yes, she stood against Scala, but at that time, Scala was queen. She was the villain. And yet, history remembers her as a hero for the things she did.
Captain Luca believes that there are demons among the draconic and...
Captain Luca believes there are demons in his sock drawer.
That is true, but still.
If I may be so bold in speaking, I would take the good captain's word for it. He was there for the liberation of Moon Bay.
That he was. And a great many other things throughout his exceedingly long life.
Just mean you may have found your demons.
If you're pitching that we go to war, I'm with you. You're not going to find me standing out on some island by myself saying that getting exactly what I've wanted for the last 10 years is suddenly a bad thing.
Maybe along the way we'll find a way to have you and your wife make up for that little snafu.
I don't think so. But I appreciate you looking out for my love life. It is very sweet of you. You should speak with Captain Canis. You are exactly his type.
Oh, we were just at that ship.
I have no doubt. Well, very well then. When the Admiral asks my opinion, I will say that I think it is time for us to go to war. The same thing I have said every day for the last, I don't even know how long anymore.
Mayhap you could add this to your passion, please. Honor the pact.
Consider it. Do me a favor, next time you see Phelan, deliver a message for me.
Yes.
I suppose we could.
Excellent. Tell her that I hope her next show goes better.
Should I deliver it sincerely or sarcastically?
It won't matter. It's coming from me. It'll only be taken one way.
Do you want her scared?
Scared? She doesn't have anything to be afraid of.
You did threaten something because you believe she has gone to the other side.
That is true, but she is still my wife, and I will not have it to be said that I'm a kinslayer.
Small smile from Framiel. Maybe as a good friend of ours said not that long ago. Maybe Phelan just needs a reminder.
An apology could be a good start, though.
She wants to apologize.
No, I meant from you, but
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You know what? You should tell her that I'm going to come apologize to her.
no, I don't want her to smack me in the face.
Good. That's a wise call. She smacks very hard.
You know this how?
Do you want to know the answer, Ramiel?
Oh no, no, that wasn't Ramiel, that was Mal.
Oh,
She just raised an eyebrow like.
Pick one set of cheeks and you're probably not wrong.
I came home drunk enough times to know how hard she smacks. Anyway.
Well done. This was invigorating conversation. I suppose we shall see you with the Admiral or on the sea.
You'll see me with the Admiral tonight.
Very well. For what it's worth, that show would have been good.
She looks at you. I read the script. I doubt it.
It was penned by someone who was there.
There, technically.
Uh-huh. Well, I appreciate their artistic interpretation of events.
Well, if you would like to take that up with Melody of the Ivory, then by all means.
Well, I would. Maybe when we break her out of her jail cell, we can.
You know about that.
I do.
How do
That-
you know about that?
She glances out. As you said, my crew is very loyal.
You know what? That is a great point. How do you know that?
Information sources.
Indeed. Lots of things get said in taverns. You'd be amazed. I have been all over this world in my time. I have been to Terrasen. I have been up to Undwar and Sunloch. I've spent some time on Restarth, and I've spent a decent bit of time here. It is a universal truth, no matter where you go, that if you sit in a tavern and you learn to listen, you will hear things you're not supposed to.
Yes.
Including-
many people seem to lack discretion.
Well, that's as true as in Draconic Legion's lands as it is here.
So you've been on the mainland.
Oh, yes. Many times.
Soon to know when to keep your cards close to the chest, son.
One does not live long if one does not.
Very well.
Now, when we meet with the Admiral, I will see you again. Until then, kindly get the hell off my ship.
That is fair. Let us get the LCL up to soup, yes?
Farewell until this evening.
She gives a very polite but very sarcastic bow.
Before we leave, I'd like to go back to the Lone Truth Market and
Yeah.
try and find like a sack of bird seed. Or like
Yeah.
bird food.
It's, I mean, you are able to find like,
Stuffing.
yeah,
Did you say stuffing? We're not eating herb. I refuse.
yeah, you're able to find some what will pass for bird seed. Yes.
Okay. God damn. Don't suppose I'd run into Canis while I'm on there.
No, doesn't seem like it.
Okay, thank God. Fuck.
They may already be off elsewhere.
Or maybe with one of his boys.
Well, I will say he was worked up, so it's a possibility.
Oh my.
Ramiel likes to tease, you know? He likes to leave parting gifts.
Mhm.
He's a giver.
So,
I think Nova's gonna like freshen up at the inn before
Yep.
the meeting tonight.
it is while you're at the inn that word comes that Admiral Shiso Denerin has agreed to meet with you all and is going to do so at the Eastbrook estate.
Oh, okay.
Lady
Oh
Eastbrook
my
has
God.
graciously offered her home.
Here we go.
Oh, I bet she did. Before we make our way over there, can I find Nova?
Yeah.
Okay. I need your help.
You need my help?
Yes.
With what? How can I be of service?
I need to apologize with someone, and I don't believe that that they would care to see me. But hopefully you could help convince her otherwise. I said something quite insensitive last time we talked.
To who?
Ayla.
Oh. You need to apologize to Ayla? She's
I
not
do.
usually, okay, well. I can deliver a message of apology. What am I apologizing on your behalf for?
Tell her that I'm sorry for overstepping my boundaries, and that I hope she knows that it doesn't matter to me who she says she is. I trust in her abilities and in who she chooses to be.
Very well. I will deliver this message.
Thank you. Yeah. And
Is-
for what it's worth, Nova, I'd like to extend the same sentiment to you.
To me? You have not offended me.
No, but a discussion with a good friend helped me realize that I was quite uncouth and insensitive in my inquiries earlier.
Mm.
As after all, the trust I have in you doesn't come from your respective identities. It comes from who you present yourself as, how you choose to show yourself to the world. And
Wait.
frankly, it's not my business. And frankly, I'm not one to talk. I mean, you were there.
Everyone has a mask. And, well, we must always put our best foot, our best face forward, so to speak.
Unfortunately for me, I seem to have the habit of shoving my fucking foot in my mouth.
I think it's, I think you, if you find yourself, talk less, smile more. Don't let them know. Don't let them know what you are against or what you are for. Except for the war, you need to know, they need to know the children of the deep. But I mean in general. Talk less, smile more. It will get better.
You hear in your mind, Nova. Ugh.
Well, if I may say, don't be surprised when the history books mentions me, or you, for that matter.
History does have its eyes on us, eh?
I don't know if the references are better or that it's killing Callie.
Now, you can go on waiting for it, for the next, the next thing to be coming, but,
There's
Well,
a strange.
I am not throwing away my shots.
There's a strange clamoring outside.
Alright, we need to end this discussion.
As you peer out the window, you see the meteor approaching. The night the sky burned has returned.
Sorry. Hamilton references in case nobody was getting it. It was just too perfect. Alright, I suppose I should catch Ayla before she has to clean her feathers for tonight.
Thank you. If
They do
you'll
need a
excuse-
good cleaning.
If you'll excuse me, I think I may need to have a bit of a self-reflection, so to speak, and maybe catch up on sleep. I unfortunately did not get the full 8 hours that I usually like to take, but I don't need a full 8 hours, but yeah.
Just need a power nap.
Mhm.
It is a nice thing about being an elf, from what I understand.
4 hours is all we need.
This feels like a pointed comment towards. Oh, apologies. Right.
I will
Oh,
not
no,
apologize
it's,
for my talents.
No,
I-
it's perfectly fine. You are both consenting adults. I just had the unfortunate mishap of being the room next door.
Well, I can. We will be more considerate of our neighbors.
Will you though?
Have a good rest, Ramiel. And I'm gonna go look for Ayla.
All right, Ayla, where does Nova find you?
Well, I was gonna say Ayla was probably about to go look for Nova.
They're looking for each other.
Oh, great. Well, you find each other relatively quickly then.
Didn't get enough.
What'd you say?
Didn't get enough.
Shit.
Damn it. I think
Go ahead.
Ayla probably looks a little sheepish and then just, hey, can we fly somewhere?
Well, you can fly somewhere. I lack the skill. Unless you are carrying me. That is
uh,
what you meant. Yes, we can
yeah.
go fly somewhere. I've never been flowing before, so this will be
Oops,
a
not this one.
new experience. I thought you were about to play
No.
a whole new world.
I mean, basically.
How does one get carried by an ASMR?
I'm pretty sure she'll just pick you up and take off.
I think Nova seems nervous for the first time. She's like, "This is really high up. This is scary." What is happening?
I think Ayla's just trying to find somewhere kind of high up and private where they're not gonna be bothered.
Oh.
Not like that.
In the clouds or on a mountain?
In the air.
I mean, you're able to go up on top of a building.
Yeah, really high building.
Yeah.
Well, this is quite the view. I have never been. Did you have to get used to this, or were you just born without any fear of heights at all?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah, that's impressive. I suppose. it would be- Mhm.
Told I was something of a terror when I finally figured out how wings worked.
Mm, mm, mm.
Get down from the chandelier,
Oh, so that would be chandelier.
Uh, I kind of lost to Ramiel earlier when he was crying.
Let me stop you for just a moment. Ramiel asked me to come to you to apologize on Ramiel's behalf. I didn't listen to most of the words he said. I believe something about there were a lot of words, but I believe something about
There always are.
there are always a lot of words. Something about that he apologizes for prying and he trusts you because of the mask. No, not because of the mask. Because you put your best foot forward. No, there's a foot in his mouth. He trusts you still, and it does not matter whichever name you go by. That is all. Do not punch me in the face. You can punch him in the face.
I'm not going to punch you in the face, Nova.
Oh, that is good. I do like my face.
I You were the first person on this continent that I felt like I could trust. So, like, also you are like the one that can probably take care of yourself the best out of the party. So, like, if you knowing this backfires on you, it's safer if they forget the name, you know?
Your excuse me. Your the names that the monsters gave you is a dangerous name?
My parents, the Silverwinds, are the worst kind of new money.
Hmm. You may have to explain further.
They got their fortunes exploiting Moonday refugees.
Oh. I see.
And when I came along, not looking like a tiefling, they took that as they were the, she grimaces, right kind of tiefling.
I see. That is gross.
Yeah, I was always a bit of a rebel, but you've never left Mother's Shield, right?
No, I was born here.
Do you ever hear anything of uh, disciples of Lao? It was
Do I
Lao, right, Callie?
Would I know anything about that, given my background? I don't know how worldwide that was.
No, that was very specific to Terracin. You may have heard, like, in passing about a staunch pro-human movement on Terracin, but you would not know any details.
Okay. It reminds me of some sort of humans are the best sort of movement in Terracin, but such things as are not known to me, I'm afraid.
They wanted to reclaim Terracin as the human continent.
They wanted to purify Terracin as the human
Yeah.
continent. They were very specific about that.
Sorry, yeah, purify.
Something
In that case.
something ethno-state.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sucked.
Suppose that would explain why my never mind. You were saying?
Well, being their eldest daughter, being something of a rebel, she, like, shudders. Promised my hand in marriage to someone who thought the disciples had the right way of thinking.
Oh, despite your parents being tieflings?
He promised to tame me.
Oh. That is also gross.
The reason I ran away.
So you left a gross family and a gross man who wanted your hand in marriage.
That's about the size of it, but I don't know that if that name starts flying around, they won't come sniffing.
You are afraid they will try to take you back?
Yeah.
Well, For what it's worth, I think, I don't think they could even if they tried. You're here and, well, you're a bird with, you have wings. You can always go to a place they can never reach. And, yes, I suppose if they were to threaten you, my hand might slip with my rapier. But, well, I cannot. Rich new money is not exactly something I can quite understand, but, well, my family was a little bit different. My mother said that my father was a human mercenary for hire named James, but I think she just wanted to give an answer to a daughter that wouldn't stop asking questions. She, well, my mother was a brothel worker. It wasn't a glorious life, but it was, well, it was a living enough. You grew up with many children in similar situations. That line of work tends to come with such well, such risks involved. So, no, it was not the only one. But, well, I know gross people. I met some. So,
Right.
It is for the best that you are not there, I think.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of how
Mhm.
Ayla would respond, and I'm not quite sure, actually.
It's a Nova bombshell.
Well, if any of those gross people that you know happen to show up, maybe something will fall from the sky on them.
That would be nice. Ah, but alas. Such things are behind us, yes, that is the point of all of this. We do not need to worry about such things. They are no longer in our purview. We have a war to fight.
That's good deal. Suppose we should probably get back.
Yes, you can fly again, yes, because I am not climbing down from this tower.
I can always fly you somewhere.
No. Look at you being so sentimental.
So you do. You take Nova back down, and you all start to gather up. And as you're all gathering up, and Nova and Ayla, you're kind of just waiting for everyone to get back together. Nova, you feel something.
Is it feathery?
No.
Oh, what is it?
A presence approaches you, and you hear in your mind, sorry for my absence. I was out taking stock.
You left?
Yes, well, I figured you could handle that.
Oh,
I didn't think you were going to fool around with her. Did you need me?
No, I just thought that doesn't make any sense.
What does not?
I told her things.
That is good, yes.
I told her true things. Why did I do that?
Food for thought, Sherry.
Where did you go?
You were always so mistrusting of me.
Not mistrusting. I just want to know if I'm going to have more people that think I'm sleeping with them. Need to develop an alibi.
If I was out sleeping with other people, I would not be back yet. I assure you I can last longer than that.
Fine. I'm sorry. I'm a little out of sorts.
Well, it seems like you had a very nice conversation.
Yes. Well, was certainly not expected. It seems I am better at this trusting thing than I thought, I suppose.
Imagine that.
Still have to make do with the plan. We still have to follow through.
But of course.
And what were you looking for?
Whatever caught my fancy. I was curious what was in the captain's quarters on the Lone Truth.
Oh, with his boys?
It seemed like a good show to watch.
Is that all? Was it a good show to watch?
Oh, yes.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway. You all get back together. And you all start heading up into the Nobles District, and you return to the Eastbrook estate. This is not the right song for this. This is the one I wanted. You are all welcomed in, and as you enter in, it is a little more raucous than the last time you were here. The various Council of Five captains are all here. You hear, as you are brought in the large dining hall, you can indeed see Captain Canis speaking with Captain Dominic. Shagrash is there as well, although she is sitting very quietly and by herself. Lillian is at a table pouring herself a very large drink. And who am I missing? Luca. Luca is speaking with Lenneth, Lady Lenneth Eastbrook, who looks very tired. You do not see Admiral Shiso Denerin yet. But you are all welcomed in and told you can have a drink, and Lady Lenneth kind of smiles. I understand you have been busy traveling around, speaking with the various captains.
Well, we are working on fulfilling our part.
She waves Luca off and just looks at you. And what do you think of them?
Many of them are itching for a battle to seek out.
Seems, I suppose, sensible. Many of them have been stuck here in this in this port for a very long time.
It was honestly quite easy to get them all to at least initially agree.
It frequently is.
We shall see if that holds.
You made your proposal to each of them, then?
Yes.
And they agreed?
Fuck, I was muted the entire time. To our best capacity.
Good.
Dominic is on the fence.
He always is. But he has a good mind for numbers. That's why I keep him on my staff.
Do you
Raise
believe
an
it?
eyebrow. You're fucking kidding me.
She smiles. Admiral Shiso Denerin, very nice to meet you. Properly.
The same person!
Greetings,
Oh, that makes so much sense. Like,
Yes. Yes, traveling, it is safer to travel under a pseudonym. It's much easier for me to go places when they don't believe I'm the leader of Azur's remembrance.
I suppose at a certain level of notoriety that would be the case.
Yes, well. It is much easier to get in and out of towns when you're not worried about being assassinated. I have spoken with them all, and they have all taken the stance that this is a worthwhile endeavor. To that end, I have decided to accept your offer of a formal alliance between Azur's Remembrance and the Children of the Deep until such time as the Draconic Legion is broken.
Very well.
On request of Captain Mistal,
Mm-hmm.
I am going to make a plea for more resources from Mitra Glorianda to attempt to reestablish us as a naval power rather than the consortium we are now.
And to that end, you need.
To that end, I am hoping you will all go and deliver the message for me.
Sort of.
Romuald
Well-
pinches the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, that was. I just wanted to confirm. Yeah, that was Glorionda that I heard,
Content.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of side eye at Ramiel.
You're gonna
I
force my
suppose
hands
we
in you.
certainly could.
I am not going to force your hand, but you want answers, Ramiel, and they are there for you. And as it so happens, we need their help anyway. I have arranged someone to broker you safely there.
And who would that be? Who's that be?
Captain, you can come in now. Door opens, and in steps a woman. She looks to be in her late 30s, maybe early 40s. It's hard to tell exactly. She is an elf, after all. Half of her head is shaved down to the scalp, and the other half is long silver hair. She has a pair of goggles on her forehead, and most of her abs are showing, notably. She wears a tank top and has a bit of a like a jumpsuit that is tied around her midsection. And most notably, I think, is the animated tattoo of a machine wolf running across her as Captain Kelsey enters the room.
She was from the last game.
Hell yeah.
Barely knows she drew her.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And she nods. Hello. It is very nice to make your acquaintance.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Do you know this one too?
You do not know. I mean, you know Kelsey by reputation, but you've never met her.
Not
he's
personally.
no, he's never met her. He's only heard the stories, and boy, they are stories, especially if they come from Varys.
Oh yeah. We all know. We were there.
You'll have to excuse Ramiel. He seems to know everyone.
Do a very nice formal bow. A pleasure to meet you.
And you as well. I have been contracted to escort you up to Mitra Glorianda. Well, if you are interested in going, we can leave tonight.
All right.
How is your father doing?
He is busy.
I figured. Follow the Silver Wolf indeed.
I'm sorry.
Silver Wolf. You think she's the Silver Wolf?
She does have
Oh.
a clockwork wolf running on her.
Oh,
there's
I
that
see
too.
it now. I see it now. Strange.
Hayden's vision never fails.
And to think we thought it was a park.
Really just honing in on her abs, like indecently.
Girl is built. This is a girl who has spent her entire life basically working in a forge, and yep, her body shows it.
Braley, you're drooling.
Oh.
Dia, do contain yourself.
It would be very awkward if Lord Arkwright was here and that
Contains-
happened.
Contains
He
my
would,
memories.
he would be drilling too.
Which
Probably.
fair.
Fair enough.
I'd be like,
I'll take that as a yes then.
I'm going.
Yes, timeliness does seem to be beneficial.
Very well. Then you're looking for a ship called the Prince's Reach.
It's a princess reach.
princess or like prince?
No,
like-
Prince's, like it belongs to him. The Prince's Reach.
It's a princess reach. That is funny.
Why
I'm
is it
sure
funny?
it's around.
I'm sure he gets around. Apologies.
God.
No apologies
making a
necessary.
face.
I'll just know who gets the parachutes.
One of us has wings. It's fine.
Excellent.
Parachute? What kind of ship are we going on?
Oh, it's like nothing you've ever been on. I promised you that.
Wait, parachutes.
Novelty.
How is
How
this?
charming.
Do we need parachutes on the sea?
She just
I-
smiles. Meet me down at the docks this evening.
Very well.
For what it's worth, it's an honor to meet, to officially, formally meet, the daughter that I hear so much about. Prodigy that your father calls you.
Yes, I'm sure he does. Yes, General Varys is, well,
He's a lot.
yeah, he sure is. Anyway, I'll see you all down at the docks.
Right.
She excuses herself. And we're basically at the end of the chapter, so we're just going to wrap up by saying that night, indeed, you make your way down to the docks and find a ship. It is a utterly massive ship called the Prince's Reach. And what's noticeable about it, I think most notable about it, in fact, is that it's only half a ship. The half of it seems to have been broken away. And it takes you a moment to realize that it is actually serving as a dry dock. They're actually constructing inside of this ship. Because as you descend the deck, you actually come out in the bowels of the ship, which have all been hollowed out. And inside there is another smaller ship. It has two long fins on either side of it and a single mast. Across the top of it, there is a long metallic platform as well. And as you all approach, there is Kelsey, who smiles and motions for you all to climb aboard. Welcome aboard the Nightwing.
Fancy.
Where's the Phoenix?
She just smiles as she welcomes you on, and indeed, as the ship sets out, it is very fast, despite the fact that there are no sails currently up. Like, there is a central mast that's up, but there's no sails on it, and this ship just takes off out into the port very quickly. And you're all kind of like looking around, and you see that on the back there are three very large, they kind of look like a windmill on the back of it that just spins and propels the ship forward in the water. And indeed, just as you're kind of marveling at how incredible that is, the central portion of the metal area opens up, and inflating out of it are two massive balloons. And a moment later, the ship begins to lift out of the water, and you all begin to journey skyward. Which, incidentally, is the title of our third chapter.
Woo!
I'm going to take you over to the new map that we're going to be on for the next chapter.
Oh my.
Stuff.
Bam.
As we enter the continent of Mitra Glorianda.
Oh, you got the clouds to get under.
Yes, I did. It took forever to figure out how to do it, but I did.
Are those like mountains that you use to make it?
Yeah, I made upside down mountains and put them
That's really
underneath
smart.
the land.
love
and
that.
I got that. That was it was Robbie's suggestion to try and put like rocks underneath to give the suggestion of like
Yeah.
that forced perspective. I was like, I think I could just turn a mountain stamp upside down and then make it sit underneath the thing.
Yeah, that's really smart.
But yes, our next chapter will be taking place on the continent of Mitra Glorianda as you all take off into the sky.